Welcome to today's Lost Souls, where we bring you the most impactful and unforgettable stories from around the world. Today, we remember the lives of remarkable individuals whose legacies continue to inspire and resonate. From iconic musicians to trailblazing activists, join us as we celebrate their extraordinary contributions and bid farewell to those who have left an indelible mark on our lives. Stay tuned for a journey through their incredible stories.
Young Noble passed away at the age of 47. Young Noble, born Rufus Lee Cooper III, was a respected American rapper, and the last member personally added by Tupac Shakur to the iconic hip-hop group The Outlawz. His sudden death by suicide on July 4, 2025, in Atlanta, Georgia, has sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community and highlighted the ongoing challenges of mental health within the music industry. Young Noble was born in Sierra Madre, California, and spent part of his childhood in New Jersey, where he met future Outlawz members Hussein and Yaki Gaddafi. He reunited with Tupac and the Outlawz in California in 1996, just as Tupac was recording his landmark album All Eyes on Me. Noble made his official debut on Tupac's posthumous album, The Don Killuminati, The 7 Day Theory, contributing to tracks like Bomb First, My Second Reply, Hail Mary, Life of an Outlaw, and Just Like Daddy. After Tupac's death, Young Noble became a central figure in keeping the Outlawz legacy alive, both as a group member and as a solo artist. He released several solo albums, including Noble Justice 2002, Son of God 2012, and Third Eye View 2019, earning respect for his raw lyricism and honest reflections on struggle, loyalty, and loss. His music resonated with fans for its authenticity and emotional depth. Noble's life was not without personal challenges. In 2021, he survived a major heart attack and publicly expressed gratitude for a second chance at life, sharing his recovery journey with fans on social media. Friends and colleagues described him as positive and resilient, with no outward signs of illness in his final days. Reports indicate that he was found in Atlanta with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The news of his passing was confirmed by longtime friend and Outlawz collaborator I Mean, who shared an emotional tribute on Instagram, urging fans to take mental health seriously and to check on your folks. Tributes also poured in from across the hip-hop world, with many remembering Young Noble as a loyal friend, a gifted lyricist, and a vital link to Tupac's enduring influence. Young Noble's legacy is defined by his contributions to hip-hop, his commitment to the Outlawz, and his willingness to speak candidly about life's hardships. His passing is a somber reminder of the importance of mental health support in the music industry and beyond. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, help is available. In the U.S., call or text 988 or visit 988lifeline.org. Julian McMahon passed away at the age of 56. Julian McMahon was an acclaimed Australian-American actor, best known for his roles as Dr. Christian Troy on FX's Nip, Tuck, and as the villainous Dr. Doom in the 2000s Fantastic Four films. McMahon died peacefully in Clearwater, Florida, on July 2, 2025, after a private battle with cancer, as confirmed by his wife, Kelly McMahon, born on July 27, 1968, in Sydney, Australia. Julian Dana William McMahon was the son of former Australian Prime Minister Sir William McMahon and socialite Lady Sonia McMahon. He began his acting career in the late 1980s, gaining early fame in his home country as Ben Lucchini on the soap opera Home and Away. He later moved to the United States, where he built a successful career in both television and film. McMahon's breakout American role came as Detective John Grant in the NBC series Profiler, but he achieved international stardom as the enigmatic demon Cole Turner on Charmed 2000 to 2005. His most iconic part came in Nip, Tuck 2003 to 2010, where he starred opposite Dylan Walsh as one of two Miami plastic surgeons. The series, created by Ryan Murphy, was a critical and ratings hit, earning 18 Primetime Emmy nominations and a Golden Globe nomination for McMahon's performance. Simultaneously, McMahon brought Marvel's Dr. Victor Von Doom to life in Fantastic Four 2005, and its sequel Rise of the Silver Surfer 2007, starring alongside Jessica Alba and Chris Evans. He continued to work steadily in television, including notable roles in FBI, Most Wanted, Netflix's The Residents, and the Marvel series Runaways. McMahon's career was marked by his versatility, moving seamlessly between soap operas, supernatural, dramas, crime procedurals, and blockbuster films. He was praised for his charisma, depth, and ability to portray both charm and menace. Off-screen, he was known for his warmth, humor, and dedication to his family, including his wife Kelly and daughter Madsen from his previous marriage to actress Brooke Burns. His death was met with tributes from colleagues, fans, and networks. Warner Brothers Television, which produced Nip Tuck, mourned the loss of our friend Julian McMahon, and his wife Kelly remembered him as someone who loved life, his family, his friends, his work, and his fans. Julian McMahon's legacy endures through his memorable performances and the joy he brought to audiences worldwide. Mark Snow passed away at the age of 78. Mark Snow was a legendary American composer best known for creating the iconic theme music for the 1990s sci-fi television series The X-Files. He died peacefully on July 4, 2025, at his home in Connecticut, leaving behind a vast legacy of memorable television scores that shaped the sound of modern TV. Born Martin Fulterman on August 26, 1946, in Brooklyn, New York, Snow showed an early passion for music, studying piano as a child and later attending the High School of Music and Art and the Juilliard School. At Juilliard, he formed a band with his roommate Michael Kamen, which eventually evolved into the New York Rock and Roll Ensemble, adopting the professional name Mark Snow after moving to Los Angeles in the mid-1970s. He quickly established himself as a prolific composer for television. Snow's breakthrough came with The X-Files in 1993, where he composed the eerie, haunting theme that became synonymous with the show's mysterious and suspenseful atmosphere. The theme's distinctive whistle and atmospheric tones became a cultural touchstone, even reaching number 2 on the UK singles chart. Over the show's original 9-season run and its revival from 2015 to 2018, Snow scored more than 200 episodes, earning 6 Emmy nominations for his work on the series. Beyond The X-Files, Mark Snow composed music for numerous popular television series, including Ghost Whisperer, Smallville, Blue Bloods, Heart to Heart, T.J. Hooker, and Millennium. His versatility spanned genres from crime dramas to supernatural thrillers. He also scored TV movies and miniseries such as An American Story, Oldest Living Confederate Widow Tells All, and Children of the Dust, garnering multiple Emmy nominations throughout his career. Known for blending orchestral and electronic elements, Snow's innovative style helped define the mood and tone of many shows. His accidental discovery of The X-Files theme's distinctive sound when his elbow hit a keyboard became a legendary story in television music circles. Mark Snow received numerous accolades, including SCAP's Golden Note Award and a Career Achievement Award from the Television Academy's Music Peer Group. He was widely respected not only for his musical genius, but also for his generosity in mentoring emerging composers. Snow is survived by his wife Glynis, children, and grandchildren. His death marks the loss of a pioneering composer whose work continues to haunt and inspire television audiences worldwide. Sophia Hutchins. Sophia Hutchins passed away at the age of 29. Sophia Hutchins was a prominent American entrepreneur, transgender advocate, and longtime manager and close friend of Caitlyn Jenner. She tragically died on July 2, 2025, in an ATV accident near Jenner's Malibu home. Born on April 1, 1996, in Bellevue, Washington, Hutchins graduated from Pepperdine University in 2019 with a degree in economics and finance. She began her gender transition during college and quickly became an outspoken advocate for transgender rights. Sophia rose to public attention through her appearances on Jenner's E! docuseries I Am Kate, and by serving as CEO and executive director of the Caitlyn Jenner Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to transgender activism. Sophia and Caitlyn Jenner first met in 2015 through their hairstylist shortly after Jenner publicly announced her transition. Their friendship deepened over the years, with Hutchins becoming Jenner's trusted manager and business partner. Despite persistent rumors, both denied any romantic involvement, emphasizing their relationship as a strong friendship. On the morning of July 2, 2025, Sophia was riding an all-terrain vehicle on a private road near Jenner's Malibu residence when her ATV collided with the rear bumper of a moving car. The impact caused her vehicle to veer off the road and plunge approximately 350 feet down a ravine, first responders pronounced her dead at the scene. The occupants of the other vehicle were unharmed. It remains unclear whether Jenner was present or witnessed the accident. Beyond her role managing Jenner's career, Sophia founded Lumasol, a luxury sunscreen brand focusing on sustainable skin protection. She was also known for her political activism, serving as a surrogate for the 2020 Trump presidential campaign. Tributes poured in from friends, fans, and the LGBTQ community, mourning the loss of a warm, ambitious, and dedicated advocate whose life was tragically cut short. Caitlyn Jenner described Sophia as a dear friend and integral part of her life and work. Sophia Hutchins' legacy endures through her advocacy, entrepreneurial spirit, and the impact she made in advancing transgender visibility and rights. Michael Madsen. Michael Madsen passed away at the age of 67. Michael Madsen was a prolific American actor renowned for his intense portrayals of tough, often menacing characters, particularly in Quentin Tarantino's films. He died of cardiac arrest on July 3, 2025, at his Malibu home, where he was found unresponsive by emergency responders and pronounced dead at 8:25 a.m. local time. Born on September 25, 1957, in Chicago, Illinois, Madsen was the son of filmmaker and poet Elaine and Navy veteran and firefighter Calvin Madsen. He began his career in theater before transitioning to film, where he amassed over 300 acting credits spanning more than 4 decades. Madsen's breakthrough role came as the sadistic Mr. Blonde in Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs 1992, a performance that became iconic for its chilling calmness and violent intensity. He continued his collaboration with Tarantino in Kill Bill, Volume 2 2004, The Hateful Eight 2015, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 2019, solidifying his status as a quintessential tough guy actor that his extensive filmography also includes notable roles in Thelma and Louise 1991, Donnie Brasco 1997, Species 1995, Die Another Day 2002, Sin City 2005, and voice work in video games such as Grand Theft Auto 3 and the Dishonored series. Madsen was also an accomplished poet and philanthropist, recognized for his charitable work with organizations like the Shriners Hospital for Children. He received several awards throughout his career, including ensemble honors for The Hateful Eight and accolades for his acting in independent films. He is survived by his 7 children, including actor Christian Madsen. Tributes from colleagues and fans worldwide celebrated his unique screen presence, versatility, and dedication to his craft. Michael Madsen's passing marks the loss of a legendary figure whose performances left an indelible mark on modern cinema. Goldie Hawn. Goldie Jean Hawn was born on November 21, 1945 in Washington, D.C. to jewelry shop owner Edward Rutledge Hawn and Laura Steinhoff, who ran a dance school in suburban Maryland. The household was an energetic blend of cultures, her father's Presbyterian roots intertwining with her mother's Jewish heritage, so Hanukkah candles glowed beside the Christmas tree each winter. From her earliest memories, music and movement filled every corner of the modest brick house, and the hum of possibility seemed stitched into its wallpaper. Laura's studio sat behind the family home, and toddler Goldie learned to fly before she could fully pronounce the word, while other children in Tacoma Park spent afternoons chasing fireflies. Goldie drilled positions at the bar, her mother's metronome ticking steadily in the background. That insistent beat imprinted a lifelong rhythm. later propelling her energetic presence on film sets and talk show couches. Humor, not strictness, ruled the dinner table. Edward, a one-time band musician, punctuated grace with corny jokes that sent Goldie into giggle fits. She quickly discovered that a perfectly timed punchline was a social superpower, melting playground conflicts faster than any apology. Laughter, she learned, could be both shield and key. It protected fragile feelings and opened doors to friendship. Elementary school talent shows became her first real stages. Goldie choreographed 3-minute routines, stitched sequins onto homemade tutus, and cajoled classmates into chorus lines. Teachers noticed her uncanny ability to command attention without seeming to demand it, a sparkle suggesting she was auditioning for something bigger than the auditorium. At Montgomery Blair High, by 11, she danced in a local production of The Nutcracker, portraying Clara with wide-eyed sincerity and irresistible charisma. Yet her daydreams drifted well beyond Maryland. She pictured sodium-lit mares spelling her name, even as she dutifully practiced Arabs that threatened to warp adolescent knees. At 15, she began summer intensives in New York City, commuting by train with an aunt as chaperone. The city's roar thrilled her. Neon reflections and puddles looked like footlights awaiting her claim. She met dancers who lived in cramped walk-ups, sacrificing comfort for a shot at stardom, and the sight only steeled her resolve. Back home, peers experimented with teenage rebellion, but Gold's defiance lay in her declaration that performing would be her profession. Friends gasped when she dismissed college brochures, preferring the uncertain path of rehearsals, callbacks, and rented rooms. Her parents exchanged anxious glances, then simply said, "Go try." Graduation arrived in 1963, and Goldie wasted no time. She withdrew her modest savings, purchased a one-way ticket to Manhattan, and accepted a spot as a chorus dancer in a musical revue at the 1964 World's Fair. The pay was meager, but the nightly applause sounded like destiny, affirming itself through polite claps and hushed exits. The grind of 8 shows a week forged resilience. Sprained ankles were taped, not rested. Hunger quieted with coffee, rent negotiated with extra rehearsals. Yet every closing curtain brought a surge of dopamine no hardship could mute. She mastered the art of smiling through sweat, perfecting what audiences would later call her sunshine grin. In 1966, sensing television's magnetic pull, Goldie followed a tip and flew to Los Angeles. Hollywood Boulevard looked less glamorous than Movie Magazine suggested, but the promise in smog-dipped sunsets felt palpable. Within months, she booked a minor role as a hasty switchboard operator on the sitcom Good Morning World, a credit that nudged open the door she'd been knocking on for years. In late 1967, that persistence paid off. An NBC casting director spotted her shimmying through a rehearsal and invited her to test for a new sketch comedy, Rowan and Martin's Laughin'. Goldie walked into the audition in a fringed homemade bikini and unleashed a torrent of ditzy one-liners delivered with sparkling intelligence below each giggle. The room erupted, contracts followed, and the former ballet student from Tacoma Park was catapulted toward national fame. With that seismic shift, the prologue of her life closed, setting the stage for the cinematic triumphs to come. Goldie Hawn's transition from sketch comedy revelation to bona fide movie star began with a surprise Oscar. In 1969's Cactus Flower, she played Tony Simmons, the wide-eyed dental assistant whose vulnerability lit up the screen opposite Ingrid Bergman and Walter Matthau. Critics expected a lightweight turn. Instead, Hawn delivered emotional precision beneath the giggles, taking home the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress at just 24. That statue demolished any lingering doubts about her staying power. A performer who could mine both humor and heart within a single beat was a box office gold waiting to happen. Her resume quickly expanded into a kaleidoscope of genres. In There's a Girl in My Soup 1970, she traded punchlines with Peter Sears, refining a talent for playful repartee. 2 years later, Steven Spielberg tapped her for his first theatrical feature, The Sugarland Express 1974, as Lou Jean Poppin. Goldie balanced maternal ferocity with comedic timing, guiding audiences through a chase film that felt equal parts road adventure and tender love story. The performance hinted at a maturing dramatic depth. Beneath the sunshine smile lay steel. Throughout the mid-70s, she zigzagged between commercial hits and daring choices. Shampoo 1975 paired her with Warren Beatty in a satirical snapshot of political disillusionment. Foul Play 1978 reunited her with Chevy Chase in a Hitchcock-flavored romp. That became one of the year's biggest earners. Studio executives learned a simple formula: add high amplify charm, watch the grosses climb. Yet she refused to be typecast. Each script had to feel like new terrain to explore, a guiding principle that would later steer her toward producing. That producer's instinct crystallized with Private. Benjamin 1980. Hunt acquired the pitch, shaped the screenplay, and fought for distribution when skeptics balked at a female-centric military comedy. The result was a global phenomenon, spawning a television spin-off and earning 3 Oscar nominations, including Best Actress for Goldie as Judy Benjamin, the pampered widow who accidentally enlists and discovers grit. She embodied an era's evolving view of womanhood, glamorous yet self-reliant, comedic yet empowered. The 1980s and 90s became a parade of classics. Swing Shift 1984 examined wartime sisterhood. Overboard 1987 fused amnesia farce with unconventional romance and cemented her off-screen chemistry with Kurt Russell into on-screen magic. Bird on a Wire 1990 offered high-octane action opposite Mel Gibson. Death Becomes Her 1992 satirized Hollywood's obsession with youth through dark fantasy. House Sitter 1992 and The First Wives Club 1996 showcased her comedic mastery while addressing deeper social commentary about reinvention and female solidarity. Each film underscored her brand: effervescent surface masking, layered intelligence. By establishing the Hans Silbert partnership, she nurtured scripts that championed complex women, demonstrating that creative authority could coexist with star power. Audiences rewarded her foresight. Her pictures collectively grossed billions, while her influence encouraged a generation of actresses to seize control behind the camera. Even occasional box office dips like Town and Country 2001 couldn't tarnish a filmography so densely packed with cultural touchstone. Through 5 decades on screen, one constant emerged: Goldie Hawn's knack for translating joy into a universal language, whether frolicking in screwball set pieces or anchoring poignant dramas. She invited viewers to laugh at life's absurdities while respecting its emotional stakes. This balance secured her legacy not merely as a star, but as an architect of accessible storytelling, a golden thread connecting late 60s counterculture to modern multiplex sensibilities. By her own admission, Goldie Hawn's greatest lifelong project has been safeguarding her body and mind against the toll of fame. Although audiences perceived her as a perpetual burst of sunshine, she endured periods when the glare of public scrutiny felt blinding. In the early 1970s, the abrupt leap from chorus line anonymity to Oscar-winning celebrity triggered panic attacks that left her breathless behind closed doors. Without today's vocabulary for mental health, she quietly sought help from forward-thinking therapists who introduced her to cognitive behavioral strategies and, crucially, meditation. Decades before mindfulness became fashionable in Hollywood, Goldie adopted daily breath work to quiet racing thoughts. Those 20-minute sessions, she says, were oxygen masks that allowed her to re-enter the noise of interviews, premieres, and tabloid headlines with composure instead of dread. The physical demands of near-continuous filming likewise imposed hidden costs. While shooting the Sugarland Express, she sustained a torn ligament after an ill-timed sprint across uneven Texas terrain. Studios patched her up with cortisone shots and aggressive taping so production could continue, but residual pain lingered later. A stunt for Bird on a Wire produced a compressed lumbar disc that required surgery in 1991. Post-operative recovery confined her to a brace for 8 weeks. Determination turned the restriction into a lesson on spinal alignment, sparking an enduring fascination with Pilates and Gyatnik exercise. By the late 90s, she had blended those practices with yoga, crafting a holistic regimen that kept her nimble well past the typical shelf life allotted to physical comedians. Motherhood added another layer of vulnerability. After giving birth to Oliver Hudson in 1976 and Kate Hudson in 1979, Goldie experienced postpartum blues that she later revealed bordered on clinical depression. Rather than suffer in silence, she joined support circles where new mothers shared stories without judgment. Those gatherings inspired her to imagine preventative emotional education beginning in childhood, an idea that would bloom decades later into the MIND program under her Goldie Hawn Foundation. Research partnerships with neuroscientists such as Dr. Richard Davidson produced curricula emphasizing gratitude, focused breathing, and empathy training. Today, MindApp serves millions of students across 6 continents, quietly transforming her private coping tools into global mental health resources. Age brought fresh challenges, but also reinforced her resilience narrative. In her 60s, she confronted osteoarthritis in both knees, the inevitable aftermath of youthful ballet drills and punishing film set choreography. She delayed joint replacement surgery through targeted strength training and anti-inflammatory nutrition, co-creating recipes laden with turmeric, leafy greens, and lean proteins. Even her occasional indulgence, champagne and dark chocolate, fits within a regimen aimed at balancing joy and longevity. Friends remarked that Gold's kitchen resembles a wellness laboratory stocked with cold-pressed juices and adaptogenic teas labeled for mood or memory support. Maintaining cognitive clarity matters deeply. Regular brain scans at UCLA's Longevity Center inform her lifestyle adjustments, underscoring that data, not vanity, guides her self-care. Her candor about aging, crow's feet celebrated rather than erased, counterbalances Hollywood's obsession with perpetual youth. In press appearances, she discusses bioidentical hormones, bone density testing, and the value of laughter as immune system booster. She refuses to shame cosmetic choices, but advocates informed consent. Know why you're doing something, then own it. That philosophy, bridging self-acceptance and proactive maintenance, has positioned her as a rare role model for graceful maturation in show business. She frequently quips that the real fountain of youth is curiosity, and her life supplies evidence. Neuroscience studies, farming practices, and quantum physics all crowd her reading list, proving that expansion of the mind can outrun contraction of cartilage. Loss has threaded itself through Goldie Hawn's luminous life like darker beads on a bright necklace, each one altering the weight and shape of her journey. The earliest bead appeared in 1982 when her father Edward Ruddle Hawn died suddenly of a heart attack during a routine drive home. Goldie, then immersed in post-private Benjamin triumph, flew back to Maryland, stunned by the contradiction, career zenith and personal abyss arriving in the same season. In interviews, she later recalled gripping his saxophone, one of the few relics he kept from his band leader days, and realizing that applause could never substitute for a parent's steady heartbeat. That same year marked the legal end of her marriage to musician-actor Bill Hudson. The dissolution fractured her ideal of a traditional family and embroiled her in a custody battle that sometimes spilled into tabloid headlines. Protecting Oliver and Kate from paparazzi became her new mission, but the fracture left residual guilt. She feared the media's narrative might eclipse her children's own memories of stability. In therapy, she confronted an uncomfortable truth that loving fiercely could not always prevent relationships from unraveling. Grief revisited in 1994 with the passing of her mother, Laura, who succumbed to cancer after a quiet battle. The loss struck a chord beyond maternal attachment. Laura had been Goldie's earliest dance teacher, mirror holder, and cheerleader. To honor that legacy, Goldie established a scholarship at her mother's old studio, ensuring future generations could pirouette even if tuition felt out of reach. At a memorial service, she quoted her mother's mantra, "Find the light in every room," and vowed to keep searching for brightness, no matter how dim the moment. Professional setbacks occasionally masqueraded as emotional blows. When Swing Shift, 1984, faltered at the box office despite Herculean effort, Goldie internalized the failure, questioning her creative instincts. Critics labeled the film's rated a cautionary tale, but she viewed it as an expensive masterclass in resilience. Studios might shift gears, but her purpose remained fixed. She also weathered miscarriages, private sorrows she disclosed only decades later in a memoir draft. Each brought a hush into a household known for laughter, and with Kurt Russell, she lit candles rather than seek headlines. The miscarriages deepened her empathy toward women facing fertility struggles and inspired quiet donations to neonatal research. In 2013, the unexpected death of dear friend and longtime collaborator Jonathan Winters reopened wounds. They had shared early comedic stages where improvisation felt like oxygen, and his absence silenced a reliable source of creative mischief. Goldie spent days writing unsent letters, eventually channeling that energy into mind-up lessons on coping with bereavement. Loss even touched the extended Russell Hahn clan when Kurt's father, actor Bing Russell, passed in 2003. Together, Goldie and Kurt guided their blended family, Wyatt, Oliver, and Kate, through an exercise they called Memory Circles, where each member voiced a favorite story about Grandpa Bing. Goldie believes those circles fused the siblings' bonds, teaching that shared storytelling can transmute grief into gratitude. Through each heartbreak, she leaned on meditation, journaling, and what she terms laugh therapy, watching screwball classics until tears of sorrow morphed into tears of mirth. By reframing mourning as part of life's curriculum, she discovered the paradox that sorrow can polish compassion, making it shine more brightly for others. Goldie Hawn today navigates life as a multi-faceted elder stateswoman of entertainment, philanthropy, and neuroscience advocacy, moving between Sun Valley's snow-draped serenity, Los Angeles's creative hum, and the Hawaiian hideaway where she and Kurt Russell retreat each spring. Their 40-plus-year partnership, still famously unmarred by wedding bands, functions like an improv scene, grounded in trust. He finishes her punchlines. She fills the silences with laughter. Together they shepherd a blended brood now expanded by 7 grandchildren whom Goldie treats as star pupils in what she half-jokingly calls Nana's Mindful Mischief Academy. Mornings start with group breathing exercises on the back porch, followed by scavenger hunts designed to sharpen observation. A dropped pine cone becomes a lesson on gratitude, a cloud's shifting shape an invitation to discuss impermanence. Professionally, she maintains selective visibility. After charming a new generation in Netflix's holiday hit, The Christmas Chronicles 2018, and its 2020 sequel, she declined a slew of cameo offers, focusing instead on producing family-friendly content under the Happy Madsen adjacent banner. She runs with longtime manager Alan Nie to animated features, one about forest conservation, another tackling childhood anxiety through magical realism. Are deep in storyboarding at Skydance Animation, with Goldie providing script notes, emphasizing humor rooted in empathy. She records temp voice tracks in her home studio, a soundproofed nook lined with Tibetan singing bowls that double as vocal warm-up tools. The Goldie Hawn Foundation continues to scale globally. MindUp's curriculum, once piloted in Vancouver classrooms, now appears in more than 40,000 schools across 15 countries, translated into Spanish, Mandarin, and Portuguese. Virtual reality modules let students tour the amygdala and prefrontal cortex as cartoon explorers, an innovation Goldie green-lit after reading studies on immersive learning. Quarterly Zoom summits connect neuroscientists, educators, and policymakers. Goldie opens each meeting with a brief meditation that quiets executive jitters. Before data slides commence, she fundraises through intimate salon dinners rather than galas, arguing that authentic conversation outperforms red carpet spectacle. In cultivating long-term donors. Physically, she defies chronological expectations. At 80, she lifts modest weights 3 times weekly, cycles moderate mountain trails when altitude permits, and dances flamenco for cardiovascular flair. Her physician monitors inflammation markers. BOF feedback sessions gauge sleep quality, and a portable pimp mat travels in her luggage for muscle recovery. Goldie jokes that she owns more wellness gadgets than handbags, yet insists the real secret is humor. She purposely watches viral sitcom bloopers before bed, citing a Mayo Clinic study linking laughter to decreased cortisol. Social media presence is curated but personable. On Instagram, Goldie Hawn. Occasional reels show grandchildren joining her in rainbow paint splatter projects or slow-motion cartwheels on Malibu sand. Comments often morph into intergenerational dialogues, parents thanking her for mind-OP tips deployed during homework meltdowns. She replies with emoji-rich encouragement, demonstrating that digital platforms can host genuine community. When guided by kindness, civic engagement has grown quieter, yet remains potent. Though once a fixture at Democratic fundraisers, Goldie now attends bipartisan forums on mental health policy. Wary of alienating half her audience in polarized times, she lobbies for universal social-emotional learning standards, delivering testimony so plain-spoken that senators across the aisle commend her clarity. In 2024, she accepted a Presidential Medal of Freedom for contributions to children's well-being. Her acceptance speech blended gratitude, neuroscience facts, and a spontaneous sing-along of "You Are My Sunshine," leaving dignitaries unexpectedly tearful. Creatively, she pens memoir vignettes in longhand each dawn, exploring themes of resilience and reinvention. Publisher auctions loom, yet she hesitates, wanting a format that interlaces storytelling with workbook exercises, half narrative, half self-help, mirroring her belief that life stories should function as toolkits for others. Kate and Oliver preview drafts, offering editorial feedback and affectionate ribbing about her overuse of exclamation points. Evenings often find Goldie and Kurt hosting cinema picnics in their backyard, a blow-up screen, vintage projector reels, and mismatched quilts under string lights. Guests range from Spielberg to the local barista who asked about Mind Up for her daughter. After the credits, discussion circles bloom, part film club, part think tank, reinforcing Goldie's conviction that storytelling, whether on celluloid or through shared memories, remains humanity's glue. Thus, the present-day Goldie Hawn thrives as an alchemist of joy and purpose, blending Hollywood sparkle with evidence-based mindfulness, converting personal practices into communal benefit. Retirement, she insists, is a semantic illusion. Curiosity refuses to clock out. Her calendar's next decade is penciled with TBDs that might manifest as documentaries on neuroplasticity, children's musicals, or pop-up laughter festivals in western regions. Whatever form the work takes, its core mission endures to illuminate life's heaviest corners with the lightness she first learned dancing in the glow of her mother's studio lamps, and in doing so, remind the world that optimism, disciplined and deliberate, can be a revolutionary